Welcome to That Nerdy Channel. I'm Lady Sporks, and this is Fragments of Him. I know nothing about this game. I saw it in the Xbox store and thought it looked cool. So let's get started and see what this is all about. Alright, there's a cabinet of some kind. And the guy. And a door. Well, let's go to the door. Oop. Okay. Well, let's go through the door and follow the guy, see what he's doing. I love you, have a good day, bye Harry, see you tonight, say nothing. I love you.
I love you. Have a good day.
I don't. But do I? I mean, that was a lot of...
This life's been kind to me, and I've got to change. To stop taking it for granted.
That was a lot of commitment, I feel. Like, I don't know if I actually love him or not. But yes, you shouldn't take your life for granted, especially if it's been kind to you. Alright. Let's go look out the window.
I need to take the time to look at what's right in front of me.
Alright. That's a girl person. I guess she's not important.
I've got to get out of the habit of ignoring the small miracles in life. I only seem to pay attention when something is wrong, not when it's right.
Okay, looks like I could have made two different choices there. I could have gone down the stairs or taken the elevator, and we're gonna take the elevator.
Even an elevator is a minor miracle. Someone invented this.
Maybe you're getting a bit too philosophical.
I know consciously that there was a time when this technology didn't exist.
Yes.
It's just so hard to see beyond the present.
See, you're looking too far again. You're supposed to be appreciating what's in front of you. Maybe focus on the people? The elevator doesn't really need to be appreciated that much. Ah.
I'm going to tell him how I feel.
Good. You should do that. I don't know.
It feels like I drifted into these routines.
It's important to check your mirrors before you start driving. You should put your seatbelt on. I can't. Alright, music. Adjust your seat. Now I can make you put your seatbelt on.
Some routine is good, sure.
And we're not going to start the car, we're just gonna...
Other routines are just how we fill our days.
I'm just gonna sit there and make vroom vroom noises. Well, I mean, this car doesn't have any pedals, so Guess we're not really getting far anyways. Oh, we're driving. Look. No pedals. I don't know how he's making this car move. I just realized he's on the wrong side of the car. Well, for America. If this were America, I'd be driving. Look around at the land scenery. And
It was easy to get lazy, to let things fall slowly into a dull routine.
This Christian world has no color.
Living carefree has been good, but it's not going anywhere.
Still have no idea what's
I'll
going
tell him
on.
tonight.
Other than he's going to tell some guy how he feels about him. I assume he loves them. We usually don't make a big deal about telling people, you know, that we hate them.
I always smile when I see that place. Maybe we'll go there tonight.
That'd be nice. See if there's anything else I can click on. Red light. Gotta stop at the red light. Pedestrian. Don't hit the pedestrian.
We used to walk in the park together. We should do more of that.
I wonder where we are exactly. Like, is this London or... I don't know, where else do they drive on the wrong side of the road? Ireland? Australia? I don't know.
He's got to know how I feel about him. I love him so much.
Oh, he's in love. Oh. Oops. Am I me? I mean, the guy that I was? Shh. Shh.
Patterns. Every day that alarm goes off. I should change the tone on it. Though, Harry always sleeps through it, so that's something.
Okay.
This isn't what I imagined or wanted. Drifting through one day after another. Together, but not aware. Something like that.
Wait, wasn't that your exact same problem before you guys got together too?
Why have I just passed by this for so long? It's beautiful.
It's alright, I guess. Ooh, books.
Great stories trapped in a moment. They're brilliant, but maybe I should add some new ones.
Always. You should always buy new books. Even if you have books you haven't read, buy new books. That's my motto.
Harry likes me in this t-shirt.
Aw. Okay. Can't go up without the...
I'm grateful for everything we have, but probably not as much as I should be. It would be easy to think I wasn't happy. I am, I think. I mustn't let it slide away.
Right. Oh. I think I was trying to go into the closet before. Let's not get hit in the face with the door.
I feel like I should try to break patterns. I usually use the bathroom first.
That's not a pattern I'd be willing to break. Going to the bathroom first is pretty important. If I was trying to like make breakfast or something,
Was
I'd be
that the
standing
first domino to fall? To change the future? Dun dun dun!
there. Hey, if you want to stand in the kitchen doing the pee-pee dance, you go for it.
Tea.
Making some tea.
A man takes the lead, Grandma would tell me. I guess I need to step up to the line. I've got a great thing here.
I don't know, it seems like he's trying too hard to assure himself that he's happy.
She's a good woman at heart. Old-fashioned, but still. She's right. A man steps up to challenges. I'll ask Harry to marry me. Husband and husband for the rest of our lives.
Aww. Well, let's hope it goes better than the day you decided to tell him how you feel about him. Oh, over there.
I think maybe Grandma would be okay with it these days. Then again, maybe she wouldn't.
If she loved you, she wouldn't care. She'd just want you to be happy.
Of course, as Will's grandmother, I knew him since he was born. I visited him in hospital on that first day. I still remember the day that James, that's Will's father, handed my grandson to me. He was such a handsome boy from that first moment. Back in the 1980s, James was running 3 pubs in London. He was quite into that punk thing and looked a terrible state to me. I would babysit Will as often as I could to make sure he had someone normal in his life.
I'm curious why this plant is highlighted.
That plant was about all Will saw of the outside when he was young. He preferred to make up stories rather than play outdoors. Sharon was always reading. She taught art history. Never really made much money.
Sharon is his mum?
Sharon had some problems with the birth, so Will was an only child growing up. He played by himself a lot.
Books.
James had horror books in the house, and I'm so glad they were kept on a high shelf away from Will. Terrible things. I just don't understand what pleasure there is in that kind of story.
It's fun to be scared.
Will's mother is an American, Sharon. They met through James's pubs. She took Will away to America for 3 years when she and James split up. They got back together again though.
It's nice they could reconcile.
James and Sharon would always be putting on some awful music, if you can call it that. Not my cup of tea at all. I turned it off first thing whenever I was babysitting. I only wanted the best for Will. I must sound like I was terribly damning of James and Sharon. But I loved Will as a boy and wanted to give him the best chance of a normal life.
Don't doubt that you love him.
I remember an evening where Will was quieter than usual. At first I thought he was ill. He told me that he'd been in a fight. A boy had been calling a dark-skinned girl names. Will had tried to stop the other boy, but he had been punched in the stomach.
Aw.
I asked him if he had cried, and he said yes. I told him that big boys don't cry. I remember him asking me then, what do big boys do when they're sad? When he was grown up, I told him he would be a good man. He would be able to stand up to others. Even though he was hurt, I told him he was right to try to stop the bully.
I don't think I like her.
Looking back, I don't think he seemed very comforted.
Yeah, 'cause you told him he shouldn't be crying even though he'd just been punched in the stomach.
Will tripped on a toy when he was going to bed.
Oh.
I remember carrying him. He was trying so hard not to cry. He was so small in my arms. I've never forgotten that feeling. I have so many little memories making up our lives together. It's odd what sticks with you, though.
I like the wallpaper. Rocket ships.
I took him to bed to read him a story. Sharon kept on buying him books of ghost stories. He always wanted me to read him those, but he never slept properly after, I think. I had to check the room for ghosts before he would sleep.
Oh.
I always look carefully to reassure him. I remember promising him, while I looked, that I would always protect him. I would always be there for him. I'm sure he thought I just meant about ghosts, but I meant it for everything. I always remember that feeling. I wonder if I knew his life wouldn't be easy. I wasn't reading a new ghost book. I was reading him Grimm's fairy tales. The old stories are much better than these new ones.
Grimm's fairy tales are horrific.
It was a strange story that night, called The Ungrateful Son. I'll tell it to you. It's only short.
Okay, tell us a story, Granny.
Once upon a time, a man and his wife were eating a roast chicken for dinner. When the man saw his father, a very old man, walking along the road towards them, the man didn't want to share his chicken, so he hid it out of sight. The man's father arrived, bid them good day, and continued on his way. The man was happy with himself, told his wife to get the chicken and put it on the table again. But the chicken had transformed into a giant toad, which leapt onto the face of the man. The toad would never leave, and when his wife wanted to help, she was so afraid of it that she dared not go near. The man had to feed the toad every day from then on, or it would bite his face, and he never rested for the remainder of his life.
Toads don't have teeth.
That was a very strange story.
Yes, yes it is.
Will was asleep before I finished it, which was probably a good thing. I felt strange after reading it. I wondered about whether I really could keep him safe. I knew I would do my best to help him find his place in the world. Any other grandmother would try to do the same. I could still see him sleeping there now, like it was only yesterday. I never thought it would be easy, but I had raised James, so I thought I would be ready for anything from my grandson Will. The world changes so quickly. I remember the family visiting me when Will was a teenager.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
Do you know Al Martino's Here in My Heart? He had such a lovely voice. It was playing when Robert first kissed me. Robert would hum it to me sometimes.
Aw. That's sweet.
I went to visit family in New Zealand after James left home. It was a very long trip. I could only make it once. It's such a shame to be so distant from family. I started a small collection of glass animals many years ago. I would buy a new one whenever I went to Brighton. It's good to get out of the house, enjoy the fresh sea air.
And collect little glass animals.
My husband Robert died when Will was young. He was a good writer, but I do wish he had tried a bit harder. Still, I loved him.
Okay.
Back then, Diana had just done that interview, and so we were all waiting for the divorce. There was no way we thought that they could stay together.
Diana's scene with Mystery Man. They didn't stay together.
Sometimes people treat us old people like we have nothing to say, so I started the conversation.
I think it's sad. She was bullied into all of this from the beginning.
The conversation didn't go well from there. I got very frustrated with him. I told you before that Sharon is American. She didn't say anything, which was probably a blessing, really. James didn't help. He has always been so obtuse. juice in his views.
Well, I agree with the boy.
I wish I'd never even started the conversation. They didn't want to hear my opinion. "Excuse me, I'm going to make some tea," I said. No one offered to help.
Imagine if she moved like this in real life. Keep walking up behind her and poking her to get her to move.
I didn't really want tea. I don't think they wanted it either. But I needed to do something. It seems like a strange thing to remember, but some things stick with you.
That they do.
Back then, society worked by all getting along. You kept your head down. It's easier to stand up from the crowd now, but... well, I don't think it's right.
Ooh, maybe I was
It's
wrong on the
not good
grammar
to
front.
stick out like a sore thumb. You have to fit in. We didn't have all these choices, and we all turned out well enough. James and Sharon were both adults, but Will... I was scared for him. He had all these views about things, and it was dangerous. I was so scared that Will was going to go off half-cocked and make a mess of his life.
Oh boy.
I stood there, waiting for the tea to brew. And I found myself crying, standing in the kitchen like a silly old what's-it. He was going to go off with views like that and get in trouble, and I couldn't do a thing.
He's kind.
I knew something had been broken that day between Will and I.
Ooh.
I took a deep breath and pulled myself together. It simply doesn't do to let others see you get upset. Robert passed away soon after Will was born. I've lived alone since then. It felt tolerable being by myself until that new distance. It's a terrible thing to feel detached from your own family. I know I'm from a different generation with different values, but I don't think they're all wrong.
You're gonna fall and break your hip. What are you doing climbing up on stools?
I wasn't prepared to accept that Will wasn't going to talk to me anymore. His views, I felt he was putting his future at risk. Those views, liberalism and such like, I knew he would change his mind as he got older. What damage might he do to his life before he saw that you need to fit in to get along?
Oh boy. This whole telling grandma you're gay thing, I don't think that's gonna go well.
I didn't know what to expect that Christmas. I just wanted us to all be close again. But I was nervous. I remember a Christmas after Will had gone to university, but we were all coming back together for the holiday. I kept in touch with a lot of friends. We didn't have email, of course, but even now they just aren't as good as a real letter.
Would you stop standing on the chair? Fall and break your hip. He's giving me a heart attack.
I was down in the dumps, to be honest. It was good to keep busy making the place look nice.
I think I can see it coming. Oh, I thought for sure she was gonna fall.
I'd been told that Will was going to bring a girlfriend, Sarah. It was important to make a good impression.
It's filling people. Oh, she's an actual people.
My family arrived just as the Christmas lunch was ready. It was perfect timing. I was very worried about seeing Will. I wanted him to understand that when we disagreed, I didn't mean anything against him personally. I just wanted to keep him safe. James is like my husband Robert. Kind at heart, but I wish he would apply himself. Did I tell you that Sharon and James split up for 3 years once? Will spent the time in America with her family. It was hard for me not seeing him. He was 10 and, like most boys, he wasn't interested in writing many letters. It was lovely meeting Sarah. She was a little shy, I think. She said a little about what she was studying and how happy she was with it all. She made a very good impression.
By not talking. Okay.
Will was growing up to be such a fine man.
I gotta find the next click on little thing now.
He doted on Sarah.
Thanks.
Gotta make the turkey go away now. And the gravy. And whatever that is. That. And that. Oh. And that.
I felt so proud of Will. He was becoming the man I had hoped he would be. Sarah seemed like such a lovely match for him. He would have a happy, normal life. But that was the last time I saw her.
Okay. I think that's enough for tonight. I'm still not 100% sure what's going on, but we'll find out more next time. Thanks for watching.